So God spoke to me about three things this week as I was praying and thinking about this. The first thing he spoke to me about, and I'm going to say to you, quite ashamed about it, is that the second one I forgot. But the first thing God spoke to me about is people need to pray over their wealth. People need to pray over their blessing. Let me put it that way, because it was not about wealth, material wealth. It was around people need to pray over everything that they have. And so part of what, around Tuesday, I felt quite strongly, and I heard quite strongly, is teach people to pray over what they have. Pray over what they have.
Amen.
I don't have a message beyond that. Beyond that, it is pray over what you have. Pray over everything that God has blessed you with. My take on it is that what we have gone through and what we are going to go through even going forward is that the devil is going to test us through the things that we have, that God has given us as a sign of his faithfulness to us and as a sign of his response to our prayers. The devil is going to use that to test our faith like he did with Job. So we see it today. People are losing stuff, but kakulugas, it started with marriages. God gives people life partners, marriage, and marriages are breaking apart. It's become a norm to hear so-and-so is going through a divorce, so-and-so is going through a divorce. The devil is taking away the very things that are a proof of the faithfulness of God. And we've come to a point where we accept, okay, people lose their families. 2 people have been losing their jobs. And what I've observed, particularly this year, but I've seen it for a few years now, but particularly this year, that it used to be in the past about you don't perform, you lose your job. It used to be like about that. If you don't perform, you lose your job. But today, people lose their jobs, high performers. I said to you last year, I've seen people get worked out of jobs. And this year, a number of companies have used COVID as an excuse to get rid of people, even some of the top performers. And secondly, leaders. I talked to you last year about people who you may have a spiritual conflict with. You're not even aware, but you might have a spiritual conflict with. And that person would devise a plan to work you out of the organization. And this year, those people have used COVID to work people out of the system. So there is great talent, people that are deserving, people that are able, people that are skilled, etc., that are out there floating looking for jobs. It used to be that if you've got qualifications, experience, and talent, you are guaranteed a job. But today, the many people that are out there looking for jobs are people with qualifications, with experience, with talent. And they are struggling to find jobs. Thirdly, people are losing money. People are losing money. And people are losing money through silly things, very stupid things. And then there's a number of other things we can talk about, health and whatever, but what God spoke to me quite clearly about, and you know I don't just say to you, God said to me, is people need to pray over what they have. If there's one thing that people must do, pray over what they have. And I called it wealth because your wealth is your health, your wealth is your finances, your wealth is your relationships. So wealth is not just your money and your job, but for the purposes of this, it's everything that you have that is that everlasting blessing that is on your life, including your faith, your spirituality, including that, including the church. Amen. The church is your wealth. The church is your wealth. And the devil will work at all of these things to remove the carpet under our feet in order to destabilize us. There was a second message that came in the week around Thursday, and it had to do with young people. And I will go back and pray, but it had to do with young people.